Hello everyone, welcome once again to another beginner series YouTube fashion program here on Amodi's channel. The essence of this program is to take beginners through the basic courses in fashion design for those that are unable to get access to a proper fashion academy or are unable for various circumstances to find a proper tutor to tutor them in fashion design. So today's topic will be handling the princess dart, or also known as the armhole dart. These darts can be found around the armhole area of your dress. There are various ways to go around this. The current program we're teaching is that, and the last series I talked about shoulder dart. So now this is the armhole dart. Now, there are different ways to go about making your armhole dart. One can be drafted from scratch, and the other can be gotten through dart manipulation. This dart manipulation can be done by manipulating your shoulder dart to become your armhole dart. So, I'll be doing those two methods. I hope you stick around till the end of the tutorial. So here I have my pattern paper, I have my pattern master here, I have my tape rule, I have my fabric, my paper scissors, and I have my markers. Behind I have this paper, newspaper that I've already drafted my basic bodysuit, my shoulder dart. I'll be using that to manipulate into an armhole dart. But for now, let's start with this scratch. Let's start with drafting the princess dart from scratch. So from the top of my paper, I would mark my basic neckline. I'll mark my shoulder line. From the top of my paper, I will mark out my bust point measurement. And my waist measurement. 17 inches for my waist length and 10.5 inches for my bust point measurement. I'll connect this point with a straight ruler. My basic neck depth is 3 inches. For more clarifications, you can go and check the series where we talked about drafting your basic bodice block. So our basic neckline on that. And our bust point now will come up 2 inches and we'll connect. This will become our chest line measurement. So from the center front on your chest line, you measure your shoulder divided by 2, which is 14 divided by 2, 7. You connect with a straight line to your shoulder. On the top of my shoulder now, I'll come down 1 inch. And I'll connect to my neckline with a slant, like this. From this point now, I'll find the mid point, which is 3.5. I'll come in here by the usual 1/2 inch and connect with the curve. I'll come here now, measure my bust point measurement. I'll mark it on my waistline and on my bust point. I'll connect with a straight line. This is to form my waist dart. So on my bust line now, I'll come down 1 inch and then I'll take in my waist dart 1/2 inch on both sides and I'll connect to the top of my waist dart. So now for the armhole dart, I'll go up my bust line by 1 inch. This will be the start of my armhole dart. This here will be the start of my armhole dart. I will come down 1 inch for someone that's not too busty. From this midpoint now, I'll come down 1 inch for someone that's not too busty, and I'll connect from this midpoint to the top of my dart here. This will mark the top of my first dart leg. This will form my second dart leg, and then we'll blend this dart leg to this dart leg to form a proper bust shape. On my second dart leg now, the total dart I took here was 1 inch, 1 inch here, and then I'll connect from this 1 inch into my armhole curve. So when I'm cutting now, I'll make sure to cut this way, like this, so that when I sew these two together, I will not be short of fabric on this point. So now this dart intake we've taken, like we do for the shoulder dart, we'll add it back to the side. After you take your bust measurement, you add it to your chest line or your bust. Since it's close to your bust line, you add it to your chest line measurement, you add, and you connect to the rest of your body measurement, like this. And this is the first and basic step for your basic princess dart. For the second method now that uses dart manipulation, as you can see, I have drafted my basic bodice on this paper. I'll be cutting it out now. I've drafted my basic bodice on this pattern. This is my armhole midpoint here. So what I will do is I'll connect from my armhole midpoint to my bust point here, like this. Then I'll cut my pattern, the top here, and cut into my armhole line that I've created here. I'll cut it close to my bust point. I'll not cut it completely, okay? So what I'll do next is to close my shoulder dart so that the dart that was here will be transferred to this point here. I'll get my masking tape now. I'll close from the point, from the shoulder dart close to my neckline. I'll hold this point here, and I'll place it on this point here and hold with the tape and secure with the tape. As you can see, it's already opening up this point here, and so I'll secure with a tape here as well. As you can see, the dart has automatically been transferred to my armhole. We measure now. What we have here is 1 inch. So what you do is, by the time you join this point together now, you will get a seam line. Connect from your armhole curve into your waist dart with a smooth curve. Now, just for your basic bodies, as you can see, it has no under bust mark. So these methods are just for your basic tops, your basic dresses. As you can see, it has no under bust. measurements, and so it is not particularly suitable for padded bustiers. After doing this, now we can go ahead to cut the rest of our pattern. Okay, you come down at this point on your dart leg, on your midpoint, and connect this way. So when you close your dart here, you're not going to fall short of fabric. So you cut through this curve that we've corrected. Hook our waist dart width. We connected our shoulder dart to waist dart width. Then you will notch your bust point so that when you are sewing, you will not make any mistake when you are joining. So this is our bust point. This is our bust point here. And so when you're cutting, you would cut so from here now, on your shoulder slope, don't forget you come down 1 inch here and you connect to your basic neck width. And then you cut. So these guys, you cut this as one piece, you cut this as the second piece. By the time you join, you're going to have a very beautiful fitted outfit. As you can see, so this point. So it's going to give you a shape at the bust area. So these are two methods you can use to draft a basic princess dart. Let me know in the comments which of these methods you'll be using for your next sewing project and which of these methods you found easy to understand. I hope to see you in another tutorial. Bye bye.